We have more than, according to our, number of people who have registered. I think we have more than 600, Rahul?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this should go up. Yeah.
Sajid, if you could share the presentation afterwards, would be useful for me, just for my own purposes, not for distribution.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, Rahul, are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
No. Hold on. Let's wait for another minute or so.
Good afternoon, everybody. Second part of this presentation is being held today on the manufacturing of masks and the different types of masks that are available in the world today. The first part of this series was conducted on the 4th of June for manufacturing of PPE suits and coveralls. We have received an overwhelming response to both these webinars. Wearing a mask for 8 billion people across the globe can be quite a challenge and an opportunity. The market size for face masks worldwide during pre-COVID was around $2.5 billion. The present market size post-COVID jumped to $8.6 billion. It is expected that this volume will increase by 10x going forward. It is also estimated that the average price of masks will reduce by 60% once the benefits of mask manufacturing and distribution are sorted out. India has the potential to be a global player in this field, as presently China is occupying a major space in this area. In a matter of 2 months, the awareness of the general public on these matters has been quite phenomenal. The World Health Organization and all medical advisories have concluded that wearing masks can not only protect you from the COVID-19 virus, but significantly help in controlling its spread. Many companies who are in the business of manufacturing PPE wear, including coveralls, gowns, and face masks, have realized the immense opportunity in the making. While there was initially a huge shortage of these items and prices were going up exponentially, some semblance of order and the market effects of demand and supply are clearly visible today. As soon as the lockdown was opened, many malls, shops, and even kiosks are today offering a variety of face masks, PPE suits, and all other products connected to personal hygiene. There's an old saying, Indian saying, that your shirt is near, but your skin is nearest to you. I firmly believe that all sections of society will understand this and wear protective wear going forward. Life does not stop and businesses will recover after this initial shock. There is no doubt that lockdowns, social and physical distancing, wearing protective masks will remain in place for years to come. The other interesting part of face masks pertains to design. While the N95 is the industry standard for the medical fraternity, there are multiple options for non-surgical masks which provide the security that may be required for a normal person and application. Face masks are also becoming an integral part of the apparel design wear fashions. These are the options in masks for different applications. Disposable masks, which normally come in 3 layers, N95 or KN95 folded masks with or without a respirator, N95 cup mask with or without a respirator, KF94 or fish masks, fabric masks, and surgical masks are distinguished based on the composition of material for achieving level 4 bacterial protection. IIGM, through its network of technology suppliers from all over the world, have been able to source and supply the best technology required for the manufacture of face masks and PPE suits. This presentation is the most exhaustive dossier of technology, products, and options that are available to produce this wide variety of masks for the most discerning of markets. The presentation will get into the nitty-gritty of the entire supply chain that is required to effectively produce face masks in the most efficient or optimal way, depending upon the design and manufacturing capacity. In the last few months, IIGM has been able to supply fully automated, semi-automated, and manual solutions to a large number of customers across India, for which we do the supply, installation, and after-sales service. IIGM was established in the year 1980, and during these 40 years, we have become one of the largest agents and distributors for over 40 international brands. We have a pan-India operation of 15 offices and over 500 technical staff who have been trained to understand the technology requirement of all these products and are available for any assistance that you may require. We represent some of the best international companies, including Gerber Scientific, Eastman, Juki, Yamato, Hashima, Bardhan, Wilcom, Eaton, Nagaishing, Tonello, and so on. I'm also delighted to introduce the speakers of this webinar today. Let me start with myself. My name is Pawan Kapoor, and I am the founder of IIGM, a company we established in 1980 to provide technology and service to the then apparel industry in India. We have since then diversified into many different products and areas, including non-apparel, automotive, aerospace, process industries, electrical, and infrastructure products for clean and green buildings. The second speaker of today is Mr. Tushar Singh Dodi. He is the marketing head of Sewing Systems Private Limited. He is also responsible for new product development. With a post-graduation in digital international marketing, he also handles new product development for the post-pandemic PPE medical kits and mask requirements. I'm also delighted to introduce Mr. Carsten Newbury, who is the Chief Strategy and Digital Officer, Gerber Technology. His focus is on leveraging Gerber's heritage of innovation to drive the company's software portfolio and digital solution, working very closely with customers in the fashion, retail, and flexible material industry to drive their competitiveness in the global marketplace. Before leading strategy and digital transformation at Gerber, Carsten drove the development and growth of Gerber's software business. Newbury holds a master's degree in industrial engineering from the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology in Germany with a dual major in computer integrated manufacturing and business administration. Sajid Kumar is the Vice President of IIGM for Digital and Automated Solution, a mechanical engineer having diverse technology and management exposure. He has varied experience in CAD, CAM, UPS, and mask making technology, and 2 decades of experience in providing complete package of technological solutions to the apparel, automotive, and aerospace industry. A quick run through of the agenda of today. We will start with a small video on different types of masks, followed up by fabrics and trims for face masks, mask manufacturing solutions, complete with the automatic and semi-automatic machines. Carsten Newbury of Gerber Technology will take us through the export compliance and certification, and we'll finish this off with a Go Green, Go Clean video of products, which is going to become the new normal in your workplaces. I hope we have some time for a few questions, and we will at least try to take a few of them as we go along. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm Tushar Dodi, and I'm going to be taking you through the fabrics and trims for masks section. So when it comes to fabrics and trims for masks, let us start with how we categorize them. We can divide them as per function, which is a comfort mask, a surgical face mask, a surgical respirator, a particulate respirator, or based on usage, which is a disposable or reusable mask. Next. So all the masks that you make today will be a combination of these fabrics. Today we will discuss the function of each fabric and where it is used and why. The fabrics are spun-bond, melt-blown, SSMMS, activated carbon, and hot air cotton. We have a short video that showcases how the first two fabrics are produced. Next.
PP granules are melted at very high temperatures and sprayed through a nozzle to form a continuous overlapping melt-blown fabric.
So the spun-bond nonwovens are made by spinning continuous filament fibers onto a moving belt. The continuous fibers come from polypropylene material, which are dried, melted, extruded into a flowing polymer melt. This is basically a standard production of the spun-bond process. Next. So coming to the first fabric, spun-bond is the most used and widely available fabric. Spun-bond is made from polypropylene granules. It is used in N95 masks where the outer layer is 50 GSM and the inner layer is 25 GSM. It's also used in surgical masks where the inner and the outermost layers are 10 to 15 GSM. Benefits of this fabric is that above 25 GSM, it is waterproof or hydrophobic. It is also air permeable and has low breathing resistance, and it is recyclable. Next. Melt-blown fabrics are super thin, non-continuous fibers. It is made by melting PP granules under very high temperatures and then spraying it into a sheet form. This makes the thin continuous fibers arrange themselves in such a way that they overlap each other to trap particles but still leave enough open space for air to pass through. This layer is the most important layer of a mask as it is the filtration layer. It should be well padded and well protected from both sides. All 100% melt-blown fabrics must have a bacterial filtration efficiency of at least 99% plus or minus 1%, and a particulate filtration efficiency of at least 95% and above. Only then it qualifies to be used as a respirator. Next. SSMMS is made from a mix of spun-bond and melt-blown. It is used as a budget alternative for pure melt-blown. If you are making a comfort mask or a mask with a shirt fabric or any other fabric you deem worthy, you want the mask to have some amount of filtration. Then you can use a fabric which will not be, you can use this SSMMS fabric which will not be a very high additional cost. SSMMS fabric will give you a BFE of around 95%, which you can use to advertise in your mask. Its benefits are that it is soft, it is hydrophobic, and it is a disposable fabric. Next. Next fabric we come to is activated carbon fabric. It is made from high quality carbon powder. It must always be placed between two non-woven fabrics as an PM 2.5 insert. It's very structurally fragile material. That's why it's stitched into the PM 2.5 card, as you can see in the picture given below. Its benefits are that it can absorb most polluting gases. Apart from the COVID situation, this fabric is also used in masks that help filter out pollution, industrial exhaust fumes, and dust particles. Owing to the added advantage that it gives to masks, it is in very high demand in the US and Europe markets. Next. Hot air cotton is made by using cotton and low melting polyester blended together by heat. It is used in a mask to provide padding to give structure to the mask and stability to the fibers inside. It comes in a range of 50 to 90 GSM. Generally above 70 GSM is recommended. It helps in dust particle filtration. It also helps to reduce the breathing resistance in a mask by giving a gap between the spun bond and the melt-blown layers. Next. Now that we are done with the fabrics, let us move on to the basic accessories used in a mask. The first one is the ear loop. A ear loop comes in knitted and nylon spandex. The nylon spandex is preferred for its stretchability and its comfort, especially when you're wearing a mask for a long period of time. The knitted is a low-cost option which is widely available. The second accessory is a respirator valve. A respirator valve forces the air that you are inhaling to be pulled through and filtered through the various layers in the mask, as a result giving you the best efficiency of the mask. The respirator valve also helps to trap heat and vapor from exhaled breath. It also minimizes the risk of misting your eyewear. For sportswear brands and sportswear mask manufacturers who are targeting people who run or do fitness in a mask, a respirator valve is a must to provide the user with high breathability. The third accessory is a nose pin. It is available in both plastic and in aluminum. Aluminum provides high rigidity to the mask. It is a must in a cup-shaped mask. Plastic provides more flexibility, allowing the user to fold the mask, making the mask more pocketable and portable. Next. Now we're going to look and analyze two types of mask and their construction. The first being the surgical mask. Surgical mask is the most widely available mass-produced mask in the market. Its function is to create a barrier between the nose and the mouth and protect the user from potential contaminants. It needs to be pleated so that it can unfold and cover the user's face. Most surgical masks have a BFE of at least 80% and above. The construction of this mask consists of a spun bond of 10 to 15 GSM on the outer and innermost layer, and a middle SSMMS layer of around 25 GSM. Next. The second mask, the type of mask that we're going to look at, is a particulate respirator. A particulate respirator deals with submicron particulate filtration. Amongst these, the most common and popularly known is the N95 mask. An N95 mask must remove at least 95% of the airborne particles with the size of 0.03 micron. It consists of an outer layer. Its construction consists of an outer layer of spun bond of 40 to 50 GSM, a second layer of hot air cotton of 75 GSM, a third layer of melt blown 100% fabric of 28 GSM. This generally around 2 layers are used. A nose pin insert, either plastic or aluminum. And it's optional of whether you want to use a respirator valve or not. There is also the other standard for this respirator known as the KN95. KN95 has a very few but key differences in terms of testing standard. The testing standard for the N95 is much higher than the KN95 standard. For an export order, you will usually recommend an N95 mask. Next. So after you have constructed your mask and you've finished using the combination of materials that you have chosen, the mask as a whole can go through various testing standards to show what level of filtration it is achieving. The first is the bacterial filtration efficiency. Testing labs use Staphylococcus aureus as the challenge organism. The higher the BFE rating, the better the protection level. A BFE of above 95% will give you a rating of type 1 surgical mask. A BFE of rating of 98% and above will give you a type 2 surgical mask rating. This is according to the European standards. Currently, Citra does the testing for a BFE rating of a mask. The second standard is the breathing resistance. It is used to determine the airflow through the mask. The lower the breathing resistance, it indicates a higher comfort level to the end user. This is where you must find a balance between filtration and breathability. More filtration generally means higher breathing resistance. Over-filtering with the wrong combination of fabrics will lead to higher breathing resistance, which causes discomfort to the end user. The best way to test it yourself is to wear the mask for around 10 to 20 minutes and see if you find it easy to breathe, or is it uncomfortable, or is it suffocating. We have a short video that shows how bacterial filtration efficiency works. Next.
In the testing of masks, one of the most important standards to check on the quality of the mask is the bacterial filtration efficacy test. The mask is placed over a Petri dish, and then under pressurized conditions, bacteria is force sprayed through the mask. The Petri dish is then taken and stored overnight. The next day, it is tested for the volume of bacteria, which gives the result of the efficiency and resistance of the mask material.
Similar to particulate filtration efficiency is bacterial filtration efficiency. Particulate filtration efficiency measures the filtration of a mask at a sub-micron level. This is very important metric, especially for respirators. As you can see from the chart, the standard virus size is only 0.3 micron, which is 10% the size of the bacteria. The coronavirus is even smaller at 0.1 micron. This test is a must for any mask being made or used by a doctor or at the front-end coronavirus who come in direct contact with COVID positive patients. Next. I'd like to thank you for your time. If you have any requirements or any more queries, please feel free to contact us at Suing Systems. Our contact details are given.
You're on mute, Sajid. Please unmute your mic.
Thank you, Tushar, for giving good insight into the fabrics used in manufacturing masks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving your valuable time for joining this webinar. My name is Sajid Kumar, Vice President, Digital and Automation Solution. As we are aware, recently World Health Organization advised public to wear 3-layer masks where social distancing is not possible to help stop the spread of coronavirus. As study says, infectious aerosol particles can be released during breathing and speaking by asymptomatic infected individuals. No masking maximize exposures, whereas universal masking result in least exposure. There are many types of masks available in the market, such as disposable mask, KN95, N95 folded mask, N95 cup mask, AF94 or fish mask, and fabric mask. In today's webinar, we will show various options of manufacturing disposable protective masks. We now have fully automatic standard 3-layer disposable protective mask making machine with the production capacity of 60 pieces per minute.
Introducing iShark fully automatic 3-layer disposable mask manufacturing machine. The equipment consists of a mask frame making unit and 2 sets of fully automatic ultrasonic welding units for attaching the ear loop. The frame unit and the ultrasonic welding unit is integrated using a synchronized conveyor bridge. The overall productivity of this solution is 60 disposable masks per minute.
The second method is group automation, wherein one forming and cutting machine can feed up to 4 conveyorized ear loop ultrasonic welding unit.
The productivity of this solution can be configured to reach up to 120 pieces per minute. iShark Group Automation Solution comprises of a automatic mask frame making machine and a conveyorized automatic ear loop ultrasonic welding machine. The ear loop welding machine has an option of adding an automatic feeding unit which can eliminate the manpower required for feeding the mask frames. Each of the ear loop welding units have a production capacity of 30 to 35 pieces per minute.
And for flexible manufacturing, 3-layer mask can also be produced with combination along with 1 forming and cutting machine and 6 semi-automatic or 8 manual ear loop welder for limited production environment.
Introducing iShark semi-automatic solution for 3-layer disposable protective mask. The production capacity of this solution is 120 disposable masks per minute. Once the frame of the disposable mask is manufactured, the ear loop can be attached in 2 methods. The first method is by using the carousel type ultrasonic welding machine with a productivity of 20 pieces per minute. The second option is to use a manual ultrasonic welding machine to attach the ear loop.
We now introduce the high-speed forming and cutting unit called iShark DIY200, which can produce both kids and adult masks in same equipment. The do-it-yourself equipment have the capacity of 200 pieces per minute.
Introducing iShark high-speed frame making and cutting unit, which can produce up to 200 pieces per minute. This unit has the flexibility of producing masks for children and adults alike. This unit can make 4 corner holes on the mask frame. These holes are used for manually self-inserting the silicone ear loops.
We now move to higher grade masks which have better bacterial and particulate filtration efficiency. N95 folded masks can be produced in various options based on order quantities and options required. Fully automatic machine line can produce 50 pieces per minute with nose bridge, nose sealing, and ear loop welding as standard.
Introducing iShark fully automatic foldable N95 mask making machine. The production capacity of this machine is 50 pieces per minute. The standard machine is equipped with a concealed nose bridge, nose sealing, ear loop ultrasonic welding, and slicing operations. This equipment can be configured with online pad printing or offline inkjet or laser printing. This equipment can be configured with an automatic nose form attaching device and an automatic breathing valve hole making device to attach the respirator on the N95 mask.
We will now explain group automation of N95 mask manufacturing. In this line, we will explain group of 2 automatic line. First one is for mask body making line with nose bridge, nose sealing, and slice cutting. The second automatic line is to attach ear loop. The group throughput of 60 pieces per minute can be achieved using this solution.
Introducing iShark foldable N95 mask manufacturing group automation solution. The first part of this solution consists of mask frame making automated line with concealed nose bridge, automatic nose sealing, and slice cutting operations. The second automatic line will attach the ear loop using ultrasonic welding machines for the N95 foldable mask.
N95 can also be produced in flexible manufacturing concept with multiple options. Now we will introduce you to two efficient options. In the first option, we have cutting and forming unit with nose bridge and slice. Ear loop welding, mask folding, and nose sealing is done using semi-automatic machines independently.
Introducing iShark Foldable N95 Mask Manufacturing Semi-Automatic Solution option number 1. The mask frame machine includes automatic concealed nose bridge insertion and slice cutting operations. The ear loop attaching and mask folding operations are performed offline. The semi-automatic ear loop attaching has a production capacity of 20 pieces per minute. The next operation is the mask folding machine. The folded mask is fed onto a rotating bed nose sealing machine. This machine has a manufacturing capacity of 26 pieces per minute.
In the second option, instead of using semi-automatic ear loop welding and nose sealing machines, we can use manual ear loop welding and manual nose sealing. Popularity of this solution is increasing due to less rejection in workflow and faster return on investment.
Introducing iShark Foldable N95 Mask Manufacturing Semi-Automatic Solution option number 2. The ear loop attaching and mask folding operations are performed offline. The folded mask is fed onto an independent nose sealing machine.
Cup masks are used primarily in industrial environment for filtering dust particles. iShark can offer semi-automatic workflow, which includes cup forming unit. The forming unit uses 5 layers of non-woven fabric, consist of spun-bound, acupuncture cotton, and melt-blown fabric. These fabrics are molded together in the form of cup shape. The second operation is slicing, which ensures perfect edges for wearing, and further the cup is sent to nose strip welding and ear loop welding independently. The same solution can be used for headband welding also. In semi-automatic workflow, we can produce approximately 10,000 pieces in 10-hour shift. Moving on to KF94 is a Korean standard mask. This mask is also known as fish mask. A fully automatic KF94 line has production capacity of 50 pieces per minute.
The KF94 or fish mask is the Korean standard mask. It is designed as a flat fold so as to provide comfort and more breathing space for the user. The production line comprises of the main forming unit, and it has a synchronized conveyor system to feed the mask frame into an automatic ear loop ultrasonic welding unit. The production capacity of this equipment is 50 masks per minute.
In the case of disposable and N95 masks, there is a metal or PE2 wire strip concealed inside. It requires pressing the strip on both sides of the bridge of your nose. Another type of nose bridge is with all metal aluminum strip. It can bend according to individual physical characteristics, which can make close contact with corresponding parts of wearer's face and fit the skin effectively to block dust particles, smoke, viruses, etc. Aluminum nose strip is fixed on N95 folding and cup mask using iShark nose bridge welder. While N95 and disposable protective masks are most popular, in the meantime, cloth masks have proven to be equally effective and fashionable. All major fashion brands have started making cloth masks and selling them online. Gerber Technology USA, a world leader in automated cutting equipment, not only can cut non-woven material for PPE production, but also has designed a unique ready-to-wear fabric mask and created a tech pack using unique PLM and AccuMark 3D. Fabric mask patterns are designed using AccuMark 2D and verified the fit using AccuMark 3D. Gerber Spreader XLS series is used for spreading fabric and cut using Gerber cutter Paragon or G7. These cut pieces are ready to wear and filter insert is used for additional filtration. The configuration of Gerber CAD, Gerber Spreader and Gerber cutter can produce 250,000 pieces in 12 hours and 5 lakh pieces in 24 hours. Another option of manufacturing fabric mask is from Juki. Juki, a world leader in sewing machine solutions, helps our customers to produce quality fabric masks with high-speed programmable single needle workstation or wide area pattern seamless sewing machines.
Now we will take a look at the manufacturing of fabric reusable and washable cup mask. Juki is the world's leading industrial sewing machine manufacturer based out of Japan. In the process of manufacturing fabric mask, there are 4 main operations. The first operation is to attach the left and right panel of the mask by using a Juki single needle lock stitch machine or a pattern seamer. The second operation is the run stitch for the top and bottom layer by using single needle Juki lock stitch machines or once again a pattern seamer. The third operation is to turn the top and bottom layer of the mask. The fourth and final operation is to do the top stitch and attach the ear loop by using a single needle lock stitch machine. In the manufacturing of 6-ply reusable mask, there are 4 major operations. The first operation is joining the panel by using Juki single needle lock stitch machines. The second operation is the dart and tipping operation, which can be done once again by using Juki single needle lock stitch machines. The third step is the side serging operation of the mask by using Juki 4-thread overlock machines. The final step is the edge binding and ear loop attaching operation by using Juki single needle lock stitch machines using a binding folder.
N95 marks are required to be printed with compliance standards like FDA or CE and batch details. We have 2 options of printing, using food grade ink and with UV laser. Laser printing is used to avoid counterfeiting of masks. We also provide printing solutions on masks for value addition by printing multicolor logos on fabric masks. This video will further explain various printing options we offer.
iShark fully automatic inkjet marking machine is used for printing logos and labels onto the N95 mask. iShark UV laser marking machine is used for laser printing logos and other information onto the N95 mask. In-Cup's pad printing solution offers multicolored logo and other information printing for the N95 mask.
Hey everybody, Paul from Bastex. Today I'll be showing you how to print face masks on our double mask pallet. Once you place your face masks on the pallets, you'll use the quick stretch to hold them down so they don't shift while printing. Now you can go ahead and print your design. If you do need to flash your design because you're doing multiple colors and underbase, or you just want a brighter color, you can go ahead and do that without worrying about shifting because the quick stretch will hold it in place. And now your prints are done and you can throw them through the dryer. You can see you get nice crisp lines without any blurring. Now all you have to do is pull the quick stretch off, put it on the built-in holder, and you can throw them in the dryer. And there we have a quick and easy print on our double face mask palette.
The fixed high-intensity UV lights can kill bacteria, virus, and other pathogenic microorganisms within 2 meters. iShark ultraviolet sterilization stove and automatic packing machine for disposable or N95 mask can help in quickly disinfecting the mask before moving on to automatic packing process.
iShark ultraviolet sterilization machine has a capacity to sanitize 60 masks per minute. After UV sterilization, iShark automatic packaging machine can streamline the packaging process to complete the product manufacturing cycle.
With this, we have completed the various mask manufacturing process. Next, we'll pass on to Mr. Carsten Newberry, Digital Strategy Officer, Gerber Technology USA. And Carsten will take us through the compliance requirement for USA as well as European market for mask. Thank you.
Yes, hi, Sajid. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here. And maybe just start out with a quick overview on Gerber Technology. I would expect and hope that many of you have worked with us like IIGM. We've been in the industry for a long time, over 50 years in apparel, but also in general flexible material space. And even before the crisis of COVID-19, we've had many customers in the area of PPE, from basic protective suits, even for, fire departments, all the way through customers like 3M or Honeywell making masks. You see some of the products there on the page that we support. In general, anything that's flexible material, not a hard good, something that our software, our cutting machines, and our overall solution can handle. Since the crisis, we have formed a task force specifically for PPE. And since the beginning of that task force, we've engaged with over 1,500 companies globally to help them with PPE production. And specifically, our focus has been on leveraging the infrastructure, the cutting equipment, and the automation that's in place, or to help with our equipment to produce PPE and to address the shortage. I would say that one of the big differences that you will see here with Gerber is that all the equipment that you were looking at before is very specialized to mask making. You have similar equipment specialized on gown making. With the Gerber equipment, we can take current production that is sitting idle, not being used for apparel, and repurpose it for PPE production of masks and also other products. And then also going forward gives you some flexibility as the demand might fluctuate for PPE to produce both the PPE products or other products on the same equipment and products. So with that, let's talk a little bit more about the types of products. Of course, I think Sajid and Shara, others explained well the different categories. I think a lot of focus has been on the medical equipment, and this is important. You see the types of products that can be supported. And on the medical side, you know, you have the coveralls, the face masks, the goggles. And it's important that the face masks alone are a key component for protection. They're not the only one. And so having a bit of a portfolio of those products is very useful. Increasingly, we also see in markets around the world, as economies are opening back up, especially on the retail side, consumer masks being very important. And the distinction was made before, these are mainly to not so much even protect the wearer, but to protect others from spreading the virus. And oftentimes these masks are called sneeze guards to protect from sneezing and other particle transmission. So if we want to take a brief look at the video, next video, basically what you can see is that there is really this increased demand for PPE. The World Health Organization estimates that the need for masks is very, very high now. So every month they expect 89 million medical masks to be used. And that doesn't even include all of the civil masks that are being needed. And the manufacturing demand, as was pointed out before, also increases dramatically as a result. Here you see an example of mask cutting on the equipment, and what we provide, I'll mention this in a minute, is all the pattern files for masks, not just masks, but also other products. And you can also cut 3-layer masks. So if or more, if you put multiple layers of the different materials together, I think we have this in another video, then that's possible too. So, and on the equipment, there are quite a few masks or products that you can make. So if you have cutting machines, this is a good way for you to leverage that investment you have made and repurpose it for production. Not as specialized as the other equipment, but important nonetheless to utilize the resources that you may already have. Let's move to the next one. So some key questions as you work on your journey to move to PPE production. I'll go through this briefly, and then we talk a little bit about the regulations and if you're interested in exporting, especially into the US or other countries, what needs to be met. But it is important to decide which PPE products you want to produce. In some cases, it's best to start simple and then work your way to more complicated products. Again, the focus here for my presentation is on how do you repurpose equipment you have, or get into flexible production where you may not want to get into a specialized machine, but one that can today make masks, tomorrow make gowns. Gowns are one of the areas that are also needed in the millions every month. So once you've looked at what product you can you want to make, one of the other very important things is the fabric. So if you don't have the right raw material, it's a big challenge. India is fortunate enough to have a lot of local raw material. So, but to secure the melt blown and the other materials that you need for the production is a key step before you really get into production. And then leveraging some of the technical resources by IIGM and Gerber that are available is a critical step, because it avoids you from making mistakes that waste material, take a lot of cost and time, and also, frankly, to get you to a competitive level on the pricing very quickly. And one of the other things we found, besides production and materials, is it's important to align with buyers. So this is one of the areas where you can either find local and regional buyers, or when you're looking into export, we've connected with some sourcing companies, and also have been approached by many the healthcare organizations, both globally, like UNICEF, or in the US regionally, that are interested in high volumes of PPE. So this is also something you want to think about from a business perspective. Next. So one thing we recommend is we have a free resource site where you can get a lot of this information, also around the standards, the regulations that you need to meet for the different products like masks. If you look at the top right corner, there's a link, gerbertechnology.com/COVID-19. If you go to that link, then you will implement or enter your information into a simple web form. Then with that, you get access to a number of free resources. Also, IIGM will receive a notification and be able to follow up with you personally on your needs. And of course, the global team from our side is ready to support and continue to work with IIGM. Things you will find there are patterns, 2D CAD patterns, tech packs, optimized marker files. So a lot of the things already prepared that you would otherwise have to develop yourself. And we also have links to raw material partners globally in case you cannot access the ones in your region. And then important information on regulations and industry organizations. We also have a matchmaking database that allows you to connect with other people that are either looking for products like masks or even capacity, production capacity, or trim and raw materials. And the other thing that we offer together with IIGM is, in addition to the free resources, is consulting. One of the very popular consulting offers is on FDA regulations. We found that although a lot of the information, of course, is online on the FDA website, it's very difficult to navigate and usually leaves a lot of questions. So we've aligned an FDA consulting service where we can help you get your site FDA registered, your products through the FDA process. We can also advise on where FDA exceptions are being made so that you do not have to meet all the requirements. We advise on which tests need to be met. Some of those were already mentioned in the early presentation, but this has been one of the very popular and very important areas if you want to either export into the US or into other regions. So organizations like the World Health Organization or UNICEF, for example, that represent a lot of buying volume, do reference both the FDA US regulations as well as the European EN regulations. So depending on which markets you want to export to, having FDA registration and meeting those requirements is very important, because buyers, in addition to price, will look for those certificates. So next, please. So we have another brief video. This is shortened in the interest of time, if you can play it. It shows an example of PPE production of masks and also some other products using the Gerber equipment. So this is Edward Wang, who's at our innovation center in Shanghai when the crisis started in China. In late January and early February, we gained a lot of experience working with the Chinese companies to retool their apparel production into PPE production. And again, of course, this is complementary to specialized mask production, but leveraging our equipment and machines and the software, you can retool your operations. We have the patterns for masks available, pre-done. We also 3D simulate products, not just the masks, also what you saw here, coveralls. Here you see a 3D simulation of the mask for fit. The markers are pre-optimized. We can advise, depending on the material, how many ply high you can cut. You see here actually multiple layers that are spread on top of each other so that you can then make the multi-layer mask. So you might have the SMMS or the SMS different layers. Then the cutter will output the pattern files and cut the product. You can literally make tens and hundreds of thousands of masks depending on the type and the layers that you use per day. So quite a high volume. Of course, here you will need, in most cases, the sewing or other methods to then assemble the masks. But this gives you a good option if you have that equipment, or if you want to keep the flexibility for what type of PPE product you want to make going forward, or even branch back out into apparel when the demand for PPE subsides or other demand increases. Gives you just a lot more flexibility. So this is an example for gowns. Like we can, in a minute we can jump to masks, but just briefly here to mention that it's very important to understand which standards and which specification you are producing to. We have on our resource site, both for gowns, and then you'll see on the next page for masks. On the left, you see the ANSI MEPB 70 standard for gowns. The labeling is very important, and FDA regulations apply for different types of products. If you go to the next page, because we're focused on masks today, you can, for each of these, whether it's gowns or masks, actually, we provide the patterns, tech packs, which fabrics are recommended, what labeling to use, this is very important, and also what testing and potentially test labs can help you with the certifications. For the masks specifically, you see some of the key tests here. The surgical masks you see on the left, the first 3 levels. The standard in the US to meet there is the ASTM standard. You have similar European regulations, and as was mentioned earlier, you have to meet certain particulate filtration efficiency or bacterial filtration efficiency needs or splash tests. Essentially, each level of masks provides different level of liquid barrier protection on the surgical side. Surgical masks level 1 through 3 do not protect the wearer against the virus, which is why it's very important that N95 masks that have the respirators that have the tight fit are typically really reserved for the high level medical use, and should not be used in other cases just because of the availability overall. But this gives you an idea of the tests that need to be met. For example, when you go to an organization like UNICEF, they will map their different product categories that they're looking to buy to these different levels. And when you approach prospective buyers, you will want to have the certificates from the test labs and the information available as to which of these levels you meet. And there is demand for all different kinds of masks. We have seen the pricing drop quite a bit more recently. And when you're exporting, it makes sense to align with buyers first and to assess the situation. We also offer some calculators for the Gerber equipment that we can work on. Part of our consulting offer is to do an ROI analysis to look at the fabric material costs, the labor cost, and to come up with a target costing and target price for the products that you make on the equipment. This gives you a good financial view for where you can be competitive with the production of PPE using our equipments. And I would recommend that you also, you had some great information around how many masks can be produced per minute on the specialized equipment. This is important. You know, we see many countries buying a lot of masks and materials, but in the end, you will still be competing with the lower costs from places like China. Okay, next. So for the civilian use, this is also important. As I mentioned, there is a pretty high demand that's in this area. If you think of retail opening back up, fast food chains, McDonald's, others that are serving people, even if it's for takeout, they will be want to be protected. On airlines, you see flight attendants wearing more and more gear. The one product category I didn't show here, but that's also quite important that you can make, it's a different kind of mask actually that wasn't mentioned here today, is the face shields. So typically made from PET, but also very easy to cut on the Gerber machines. You saw it on one of the earlier pictures, a lot of the medical, but also other frontline workers do like to have the face shield with an extra layer of protection in addition to the mask. It does protect you obviously more from spit, other particles hitting the face. For the face shield, or sorry, for the civilian masks here, it's important that in the US, for example, you don't face any regulations yet. These are also made from usually regular fabric, cotton, denim, and we see a big trend towards also fashionable masks where people are starting to match their regular clothing with some of the masks. If you go into Europe, the important thing is that here you will start seeing emerging regulations for also the civil masks. So important to inform yourself beforehand if you want to export civil use masks, regular masks into Europe. Next. So one of the things we can offer, together with IIGM is to help you through the process of retooling your production to PPE. This has several steps. It begins with what to make, then to what kind of PPE product to make, then to prepare for those changes to make sure that tech packs, pattern files, everything are there and optimized, implementing this on the machines, then starting the operation. Typically, when you also get ready for buyers, in addition to having your product testing, like the seams for gowns or the quality of the masks ready, it's important to make some samples, have those tested, and then also have them ready with prospective buyers. Those that do bigger volumes typically want to see samples and have those approved before they place the orders. And then, of course, again, Gerber and IIGM, you see a number there at the bottom, can help you, through this whole process. I'd mention again the FDA consulting, very important on the regulatory side, that if you want to, export, you're going to have to go through the process, and it makes sense to invest in a small package there to get the right advice, get set up, and make sure you meet the regulations. Next. So one of the things we've also done is provide a complete package. We've also seen a lot of people invest in additional capacity just because the volume's been so high on PPE. And we've bundled up both the equipment and the software, even down to setting up the parameters, providing the right consumables, and creating a really simple, fast package for you to be able to make PPE products. Again, masks are one of the products. The important thing is you can make more, from coveralls to gowns, shoe covers, and we can cover that on a future webinar. Next. So one of the important things when we talk to brands that are, have been the historical buyers from the manufacturing side, they're all revisiting their supply chain. They're looking strategically at who to purchase from. We're in contact with large brands like Nike, Under Armour, and others. And those have been leading brands also helping their suppliers get into PPE production together with Gerber. But one of the important things to keep in mind also is, as Winston Churchill said, never waste a good crisis. So this crisis and the PPE production are really an opportunity to also further digitize your offer. Coming out of the crisis, it's clear that a more digital supply chain will be critical for the brands and for the future of our fashion industry. So as you go through the PPE crisis, it's an opportunity not just to produce the PPE, but to set up your entire processes digitally, from going and managing how you manage your tech packs and PLM, the pattern making integrated with PLM and 3D simulation, and then integrating that digital development into production. This is the only way that speed, that the process will be much faster, that virtual prototyping will be possible with the brands, and you can shorten the time and the response time. if we were digitally integrated today, we would not have the same challenges that we're having right now with PPE, because we would be able to much more quickly match supply and demand, much more quickly repurpose our production, and meet the crisis that we have right now. So my I guess last point to the audience here would be to really also think strategically about your business and how you can leverage this crisis to invest in the future, which will give you an edge over the other market participants. So we mentioned the website. IIGM is available together with Gerber, and we're happy to not just help you on the production side, but also with the raw materials. Thank you.
Introducing iShark Thermal Imaging Solution for Body Temperature Screening. iShark Thermal Imaging is a non-contact temperature measurement solution which is highly efficient and accurate with data management systems. This system delivers high-efficiency results up to 0.3 degrees centigrade for a distance up to 5 meters and for a group of up to 30 people. The system gives an automatic alert during an abnormal temperature reading, saving a lot of manpower and reducing the risk of cross-infection. Our solution cannot be manipulated even if someone wears a mask, goggles, and a hat. The system is intelligent enough to give accurate results by focusing on the eyes and the forehead. The system works using artificial intelligence, and even if someone is wearing a helmet, the software is capable of recognizing the individual, using his retina, and it can update the database. The iShark Thermal Imaging Solution is tested and approved as per ASTM, or the American Society of Testing Materials. This certification differentiates us from the rest of the products in the market. Apparel manufacturing factories are labor-intensive and have some of the highest densities of humans per square meter of floor area for any manufacturing industry. Employees wearing masks at all times reduces the microdroplets in the factory atmosphere.
The risk of infection through microdroplets becomes even greater in a closed space with poor ventilation. This simulation uses only microdroplets. 5 minutes later, 20 minutes later. But there is a way to prevent this stagnation of microdroplets. They're very small and light, so any airflow will get rid of them.
Creating more air changes through forced ventilation and increased air circulation significantly reduces the risk of spreading COVID-19 virus and other bacterial respiratory infections. iShark industrial exhaust fans have a very low electrical power consumption of 600 watts for 32,000 CFM. Greenhouse gases produced in the factory such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide are removed from the factory atmosphere, resulting in higher attentivity and productivity of labor over longer periods of time. Introducing iShark UV Disinfectant AGV is equipped with ozone and ultraviolet lamps which are used for sterilization, killing up to 99.9% of bacteria and all viruses. This equipment utilizes artificial intelligence programming to navigate around factories and premises using lasers and cameras. The disinfection route can also be tracked and controlled remotely. Tonello is the globally recognized professional washing and dyeing machine manufacturer from Italy. Tonello has developed a new machine called Sanicare Ozone Disinfectant Cabinet. This disinfectant static cabinet is available in 3 variants and can be used at showrooms, malls, hospitals, hotels, offices, and boutiques. This equipment is used to disinfect the garments, footwear, accessories, and protective devices. This equipment can also be utilized to sanitize the showroom and the apparels displayed in it after working hours. The process time to sanitize 50 square meters of showroom space approximately will take 20 minutes. The loading capacity of the cabinets in the smallest variant is 5 to 10 garments, shoes and accessories, and in the medium cabinet it is 15 to 20 garments, and in the largest variant 30 to 40 garments can be loaded at one time. Introducing the global leader in skylight technology, Kingspan Skylights from the United States of America. The main objective of skylights is to bring in natural diffused light without the heat from the sun. The conventional acrylic sheets used for skylights bring in spotlight along with a lot of heat. We made an experiment to demonstrate the comparison between Kingspan Skylights and the conventional acrylic sheets. We used a simple temperature gun. As you can see, the ambient temperature of this factory was 32 degrees centigrade. Then we pointed the temperature gun to the skylight installation. The measured temperature was again 32 degrees centigrade. We did the same exercise by pointing the temperature gun at the acrylic sheets. The observed temperature was 42 degrees centigrade, which was a good 10 degrees higher than the ambient temperature. These are a few images of our installations completed within India. The skylights can be integrated with the LEDs using economical light sensors, resulting in touchless lighting automation for factories.
Thank you very much. And before I conclude this session, we seem to have run out of our time, but there are quite a few questions for the speakers here today. Let me ask you just a couple of them, Kirsten. The first one is about the regulation and consultancy services that are available from Gerber. Could you throw a little more light on, on how this works?
Yes, sure. So we generally have, we would have a joint discussion, between the IIGM team, the interested manufacturer, and one of our experts to assess the situation, again, which product, which markets you're interested in. And then let's just take one specific example for FDA. Depending on the level of product and requirements you want to meet, we can then define the steps to walk you through the process. Typically, this will include registration of the factory as a site, adding product categories under that registration, and then making sure that the right requirements are understood and which testing is needed to meet those specifications. So that's one specific example. Depends a bit on the situation. So we usually have a scoping call together first with one of the experts to define some general questions and to tailor the package to the specific need.
I must tell you, interestingly enough, most countries, as you know, have banned exports of PPE, material, including face masks. But I understand that the Indian government is actually going to, open up this activity in the very, very near future. So do you think there's a lot of potential for Indian industry to export to the US?
Yeah, so, clearly countries around the world, including the US, are looking for alternatives to China. It's no secret. There is very high demand. And also, it's no secret that domestic manufacturing in the US is still a lot more expensive than in other places. So given the might of India's manufacturing capacity, the access to raw materials and everything, I would fully expect India to be a major player in importing into other nations such as the US. So absolutely,
Wonderful. That's nice to hear. There are a few questions here as well, and one to Sajid. What are the, again, most of these machines like N95 or logo printing machines, what is the general lead time for these machines if one has to order it?
It depends upon the configuration. So for example, if it is a fully automatic N95, it might take a little bit longer time, but whereas a semi-automatic or a group automation we can ship it out in 5 to 6 days.
From the date of ordering. I see.
Great.
Okay. And many questions regarding sharing of this presentation. I would like to just make a mention to the entire audience that this entire proceedings have been recorded and they are going to be uploaded onto YouTube. So if you have any questions or if you want to view this again, you can always go to the YouTube, or you can get in touch with us, IIGM or any of our branches all over the country. So with that, thank you very much for everyone, the panelists, for given such a wonderful presentation, and also to our wonderful viewers to have spent their time with us today.